नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता चैप्टर 4 text number 5. Chapter is titled Transcendental Knowledge. śrī-bhagavān uvāca bahūni me vyatītāni janmāni tava cārjuna tāny ahaṁ Veda sarvāṇi na tvam vettha paran-tapa. Word by word meaning. śrī-bhagavān uvāca, the personality of Godhead said, bahūni, many, may of mine, vyatītāni, have passed, janmāni, births, tava, of yours, cha, and also, Arjuna, O Arjun, tāni, those, ahaṁ, I, Veda, do know, sarvāṇi, all, na, not, tvam, you, vettha, no, paran-tapa, O subduer of the enemy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. The Personality of Godhead said, many, many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. Please repeat. The Personality of Godhead said, many, many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. Purport. In the Brahma-saṁhitā, we have information of many, many incarnations of the Lord. It is stated there, advaitam, acyutam, anādim, ananta-rūpam, ādyam purana purusham navayovanam cha, vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma-bhakto, govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, Krishna, who is the original person, absolute, infallible, without beginning. Although expanded into unlimited forms, he is still the same original, the oldest, and the person always appearing as a fresh youth. Such eternal, blissful, all-knowing form of the Lord are usually not understood by even the best Vedic scholars, but they are always manifest to pure, unalloyed devotees. It is also stated in Brahma-saṁhitā, Ramadi murtishu kala niyamena tishtan nāna-avataram akarod bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna swayam samabhavat paramapumanyo govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, Krishna, who is always situated in various incarnations, such as Ram, Narsingha, and many sub-incarnations as well, but who is the original personality of Godhead known as Krishna, and who incarnates personally also. In the Vedas, also it is said that the Lord, although one without a second, manifests himself in innumerable forms. He is like the Vaidurya stone, which changes color, yet still remains one. All those multi-forms are understood by the pure, unalloyed devotees, but not by a simple study of Vedas. Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma-bhakto. Devotees like Arjuna are constant companion of the Lord, and whenever the Lord incarnates, the associate devotees also incarnate in order to serve the Lord in different capacities. Arjuna is one of these devotees And in this verse, it is understood that some millions of years ago, when Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to the sun god Vivaswan, Arjuna in a different capacity was also present. But the difference between the Lord and Arjuna is that the Lord remembered the incident, whereas Arjuna could not remember. That is the difference between the part and parcel living entity and the Supreme Lord. Although Arjuna is addressed herein as a mighty hero who could subdue the enemies, he is unable to recall what had happened in his various past births. Therefore, a living entity, however great he may be in the material estimation, can never equal the Supreme Lord. Anyone who is a constant companion of the Lord is certainly a liberated person, but he cannot be equal to the Lord. The Lord is described in the Brahma-saṁhitā as infallible, acyutam, which means that he never forgets himself, even though he is in material contact. Therefore, the Lord and the living entity can never be equal in all respects, even if the living entity is as liberated as Arjuna. Although Arjuna is a devotee of the Lord, he sometimes forgets the nature of the Lord. But by the divine grace, a devotee can at once understand the infallible condition of the Lord, whereas a non-devotee or a demon cannot understand this transcendental nature. Consequently, these descriptions in the Gita cannot be understood by demonic brains. Krishna remembered acts which were performed by him millions of years before, but Arjuna could not, despite the fact that both Krishna and Arjuna are eternal in nature. We may also note herein that a living entity forgets everything due to his change of body, but the Lord remembers because he does not change his Sachidanand body. He is Advaita, which means there is no distinction between his body and himself. Everything in relation to him is spirit, whereas the conditioned soul is different from his material body. And because the Lord's body and self are identical, his position is always different from that of the ordinary living entity, even when it descends to the material platform. The demons cannot adjust themselves to this transcendental nature of the Lord, which the Lord himself explains in the following verse. Om ajnanatimidandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So welcome all of you. So Srila Prabhupada has commented on this verse couple of times. So we will try to recollect the points from those lectures given by His Divine Grace. So this is a wonderful purport given by Srila Prabhupada, and it has many points in it. Like Krishna is explaining that a soul, a jiva cannot remember the previous birth, but God can, Krishna can understand. Then he explained why God can understand, remember, and why a jiva cannot understand or remember. And then what a jiva should do if he want to remember his previous birth. So the whole process is given in this verse, and in the next verse it will follow also. So the previous verse, text number 4, Arjuna question is answered here. The question of Arjuna was that the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed these signs to him? So because Arjuna thought as a layman that we have appeared together, we are relatives. So what is so special that you are telling that you instructed it to the sun god? Because sun god is so many millions of years before, and we are contemporaries. We just have around the same time we are on this planet here. So Krishna says that although I am unborn, this is next text number 6. So Krishna says the Personality of Godhead said, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. O subduer of the enemy. So Srila Prabhupada starts his commentary by explaining the word Bhagavan, because here the shloka is spoken by the Supreme Personality, śrī-bhagavān uvāca. So, as we all know, śrī-bhagavān uvāca means Bhagavan is one who possesses the 6 opulences. So, Krishna possesses the 6 opulences, that is why he is called God. Jiva is also controller or Ishvara in minute possession, and Prabhupada writes in this lecture that we can go up to 78% in quality in our perfection as a human being, but not beyond. So Bhaga means opulence, and when the Sanskrit affix is there, what pratyaya, one who possesses opulence, is called Bhagavan. So Parashar Muni says, Aishwarasya samagrasya virjasya yasyasya sriha gana vairagyaya chaiva sannam iti bhagam gana. A Vishnu Puran, it is given in Vishnu Puran. So Bhagavan means who possesses all the 6 opulences. So here Krishna being the possessor of 6 opulence, we can also understand that Krishna is also individual and Jiva is also individual. So there is a shloka just in previous chapter number 2, natveva aham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipa natveva bhavishyama sarvamatha param. That in Krishna explains that all of these kings, all of these soldiers, you and I all existed before, will continue exist in the present, will continue exist in the future also. I think 2.12. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all of these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So basically this is similar kind of shlok what we are reading now. bahūni me vyatītāni janmāni tava cārjuna tāny aham Veda sarvāṇi na tvam vettha paran-tapa. So individuality is always maintained of the jiva. We never give up our individuality, wherein the Mayavadi thinks that we merge in like they give example of the tree, and tree is green and the parrot goes on the tree and it loses the identity, but it never happens like that. We can't see, we can't distinguish, but the identity is still the separate. So the individuality is maintained, the jiva never loses the individuality, and Krishna is also a separate individual which is Sachidanand Vigraha, and we are also separate which is also eternal, but in the current situation, being in the contact with this material world, we are conditioned and we are made of this Panch Mahabhut, but our real Swarupa is spirit soul. So we are all son of God. Mamaya Vansho Jiva Bhuta Jiva Loka. This is given in Bhagavad Gita 15.7. So we are all part of the Supreme Personality. We are eternal, part and parcel. Krishna is eternal, we are also eternal. Krishna is individual, we are also individual. But the difference is, he is Ishvara Parama, he is the Supreme Controller. We are also controller, but limited, very minute controller. That is the difference. God is great and we are a small particle. That is the difference. Therefore Krishna said that, I also take my birth and you also take your birth. But the difference is, tāni aham Veda, I know how many times I took birth. But you also took many times, but you have forgotten. That is the difference. Tāni aham Veda sarvāṇi na tvam vettha paran-tapa. So 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita says that Mattha smritir gnanam apohanam cha. So this forgetfulness is also given by Krishna and remembrance is also given by Krishna. So if we understand with logic, it is very important to forget our previous lives, because say for example we have met with some accident and we went through terrible pain. So if we keep remembering that, it is very difficult to live a life. Similarly, in our previous lifetime, because we are in this material body, we can understand that we had the desire to enjoy. That is why we got this body. If we had a desire to serve Krishna, we would not have got this body. So Krishna wants us to forget that. He doesn't want that to continue, that desire. He wants us to surrender, be submissive, One manabhav mad bhakto madhyajimam namaskar. Krishna is instructing this. So he wants us to do this so we can understand that Krishna would have given us forgetfulness. Because it is like a bad accident always present in our mind fresh. If you say, for example, if you don't forget that situation, then we will continue the desire to enjoy. We will always continue the desire to enjoy. But Krishna, being a loving father, does not want this. Krishna wants that we forget that desire to enjoy, and just like we read this example, there is a tree, on that two birds are sitting. Katha Upanishad, there is a shloka, right? One bird is enjoying and other is observing. So Krishna is that observing bird as Paramatma, sitting in the heart. Riddeshe Arjuna tishtati, is right in the heart. So Krishna is observing minutely what we are doing, but he doesn't interfere. This is how Krishna has made it, because Krishna wants us to establish love with him, and love can't be forced. Love has to be voluntarily executed, it has to be voluntary. Nobody can make somebody love each other. So Krishna is following the same principle. So he doesn't interfere. He knows that we are doing mistake, but he is sitting right next to us, waiting for us to turn our face towards Krishna. The moment we turn our face towards Krishna, then comes remembrance. Then we will always be in that state of loving Krishna, serving Krishna, and enjoying our life in true sense. Right now, we think that we are enjoying. A lot of arrangements are made to enjoy, but in reality, it all ends in some bigger problems. So, and then another thing Prabhupada writes very interesting is, we can understand that as Arjuna is changing his body, like a soul changes the body, every birth we get a new body. So because we get new body, we are forgetting what was past. But Krishna is Sachidanand. So from that biological analysis we can conclude that because there is no change of body, so he can remember everything. As simple as that. So it is not very difficult to understand that how Krishna can remember so many things. But because he has never changed the body and spirit is same for Krishna. There is no difference in it. So there is no question of forgetting. And Arjuna or any jiva being continuously changing body, even right from the childhood till now also we have changed our body. But for Krishna it is written, Nav Yovanam Cha, he never gets old, he never gets diseases. So he is there, whatever he is, he doesn't change, you know. He doesn't go old, he doesn't grow beard, he remains fresh, youth always. So, but this is not applicable to us. So because we can't remember what we did in childhood as a small child, we don't remember what we were doing 1 year before on the same day. So because our body is changing continuously. When science says that the cells changes every 7 years, all the cells of the human body changes. So it's a continuous process. We cannot control this. So if we want to remember, so we forget and we change body. Tatha dehantara prapti. So this is a continuous thing. There are 84 lakh species. As per our desire to enjoy, Krishna gives us a respective body. Man proposes, God disposes. So whatever we want, Krishna gives us. So when we will be perfect, we will remember. But that is spiritual life. No more material body. That can be also possible. So now Prabhupada says that it is possible to get spiritual body. But for that, we have to stop our material desires. So desires can't be stopped, but we have to dovetail those desires into Krishna's service, in Krishna consciousness. Whatever we are eating, we continue eating, but we offer to the Lord and then we eat. So it becomes converted into Krishna consciousness practice. So we have to practice this, and once we keep practicing this, then we can come out of this material world. It is said in Bhagavad Gita, Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti kaunteya. So when we go to Krishna, we get similar body, although we are subordinate. Similar body means like Krishna, Sachidanand body. We get our real thing. So there is no birth, death, old age and disease. So there we can remember then forgetfulness is not there. But here in the material world, out of causeless mercy, Krishna is giving this forgetfulness, so that we don't remember all the painful situations we have experienced in the past. For example, say in the past life, I was a dog, and people might be kicking us, people might be throwing stone on us. If we remember that, it will be difficult to live, right? So we can think that how merciful Lord is to give this forgetfulness. It is not a punishment basically, it's a mercy of the Lord to give forgetfulness. So, but He will give remembrance when we will reach on the state where we are 100% Krishna conscious. Then Krishna feels, okay, now he is on track. So then there is no forgetfulness, because then we get Sachidanand Swarupa. We go to the Vaikuntha Loka or the higher planetary system as per our practice of devotional service. So advaitam, acyutam, ananta-rūpam, adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakto govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Prabhupada writes here that Krishna can expand himself unlimitedly, ananta-rūpam. So he is expanding himself unlimitedly, that is one part. Second, Prabhupada writes, sarva bhutanam riddeshe Arjuna tishtati. And second thing is he is sitting in everybody's heart also as Paramatma. So one is he has unlimited form, which are advaitam, acyutam, anādim, ananta-rūpam. And second is also in the heart of every jiva. Sarvasya chaham ridhi sannavishta. Mata smrutir gnanam apohanam cha. That shlok is here now. So where the Paramatma is there, that is stated ridhi, in the heart. In the heart Paramatma is sitting. So Krishna says, I stay within the heart of everyone. Krishna is so kind, God is so kind, that is living with me just to turn my face towards Him. Amayavancho jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana manasasthani indriyani prakriti tāny karshati. So Krishna is seeing that we are struggling. There is a big, huge struggle, karshati. We are struggling for our existence in this materialistic world with our concocted idea. So we are trying so many plans. We are seeing to make a good living, to make a good happy lifestyle, to make a disease-free world. So many endeavors are going on. But we have to do a simple endeavor to turn our face to Krishna. And to expand it, it means that accepting Krishna's management system. Whatever Krishna has given, we should accept. We don't have to struggle. Krishna doesn't want us to struggle. No father wants the son to struggle. We being son of the Lord, He has made all the arrangement for us. But unfortunately, we have lost faith on the Lord. So that is why Ado Shraddha, it starts from Shraddha. When we develop this faith in the Lord, that He is the supreme provider, He is the supreme protector, then our life becomes very easy. Like today we were meeting some devotees, and everybody is trying to make a good life, but unfortunately the path on which we are walking is not correct. So the struggle is always there. And because of our consciousness level being so low, because of so many lifetime, we have a lot of enjoyment propensity in our mind. So we cannot understand that how we will enjoy by serving Krishna. It is difficult to understand that. We think that if I will enjoy, I will benefit. But this is a different, altogether a different principle. Spiritual paradigm is totally different. It is clearly saying if Krishna will enjoy, we will benefit, we will be blissful. So like we see gopis, they didn't wanted anything for them. When there is a story, when Krishna was having a headache, and Krishna said, I want dust of my devotees' feet, that will cure me. And nobody was ready to give it in Dwarka. And then they came to Vrindavan, and the gopis said, okay, you take whatever you want to take, but our Krishna should be pleased, he should be happy. So that is the whole purpose of devotee. He understands that my benefit is in pleasing Krishna or serving Krishna. That is the whole purpose of our life. But it is very, very difficult to understand, because a whole arrangement is made to explain us that if you will enjoy, that is a way to live life. If you are doing austerity, you are fool. If you are trying to serve Krishna, you are fool. If you are following the instruction of Shastra, you are fool. That is so deep-rooted in our consciousness that it is difficult to come out of it. Otherwise, this principle we have heard so many times. And Prabhupada is saying, if you understand this, then you can reach to a level where you get a permanent body. Permanent body in the sense, your real Swarupa as a spirit soul, you are established, and there you enjoy serving Krishna eternally. But because of this is a small, we can say a small, but it's a big actually, desire to enjoy. Because of that, we are suffering here. So we just have to try to come out of her. So our actual business is to go back to home, back to Godhead, not to enjoy in this material world. But still, because we want it, Krishna gives us all the facilities. So Krishna has he doesn't intervene in our propensity to enjoy. He says, okay, if you want to enjoy, continue. When you are tired, you come to me, I will take care of you. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, continuing to this, Prabhupada is writing, Ei rupe brahmanda brahmite kono bhagyavana jeev. So, because of this propensity to enjoy, we are wandering all over the universes. So many births, so many deaths is going on, 84 lakh species we are passing on. So this is our circulation. So therefore Krishna says, tava cārjuna, as Paramatma, I am within you always, and you are changing so many bodies. Of course, Arjuna did not change because he is a devotee. So this is another point Krishna is mentioning now. Prabhupada is writing that Arjuna was enacting for us. He is not an entangled soul. He is a devotee. He came because Krishna wanted him to come on this planet. So for Arjuna, this doesn't apply. He is accompanying Krishna always. Bhakto sime sakha cheti. In the previous sloka, text number 3. So he is friend. He takes his birth as human being whenever Krishna wants. Krishna has his associates. When he comes on this planet, he comes with his associates. So Pandavas are Krishna's eternal associates. Although associate, still Arjuna forgets about his previous birth because he is human being, whereas Krishna remembers. So this is also given in the purport. No amount of material qualification can make you remember your previous lifetime. Arjuna was not a normal personality. He was one of the best Dhanurdhara, was in the lineage of Kuru Vansha. In no stand, he was a devotee of the Lord. Still that forgetfulness comes to him. So nothing can make us at par with the Lord. As Prabhupada writes in this purport which we read. We can never be at par with the Lord in quality. That is very, very important. Even a devotee. So here Prabhupada is just writing that. Although associate, still Arjuna forgets about his previous birth because he is human being, whereas Krishna remembers. So Krishna also takes birth very many incarnations. Ramadi murtishu kalaniyema tishtan nānāvataram akaroda bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna swayam sambhavat paramapumanyo govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So this is another slok from Brahma-saṁhitā. And here Srila Prabhupada explains that there are unlimited, innumerable living entities. So he has to give instruction in different ways to so many living entities. How much busy he is, just try to imagine. Still his position is same. Goloka eva nivasati akhilatma bhuto. Goloka eva nivasati. So Krishna is still in his own original palace, Golok Vrindavan, and is enjoying in the company of Srimati Radharani. It is not the Mayavadi philosophy, because he has expanded himself in so many heart of living entities. That does not mean that he is finished. So people think this is another propaganda, that because Krishna has been cut into pieces and so many living entities manifested, so now there is no Krishna. So this is spiritual mathematics. Where Prabhupada writes that in normal we understand if there is one rupee means 16 ana. Previously we used to talk 4 ana, 8 ana. Now it is not existing anymore. Until 10 rupee doesn't work in Vrindavan now. So from 16 ana, if 1 ana is minus, it becomes 15. If 2 ana goes, becomes 14. And if 16 goes means become 0. But spiritual mathematics is 1 minus 1 is also 1. So 1 always remains in spiritual mathematics. That is Krishna. So the Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. So it is Purna. Nothing diminishes in Krishna's creation. So that Krishna you cannot understand. It is very difficult. See. So from the moment we took birth we are taught 1 minus 1 is 0. And now here it is taught 1 minus 1 is 1. How will we understand this? Totally different, right? So that is why forgetfulness. If our old things are continuing, so basically when we take birth, we are competent, we are equipped by Krishna to surrender to Him in a way. But because we continue our materialistic endeavor, we lost all the benefit we are gaining to remember Krishna and to worship Krishna. So Krishna gives forgetfulness, but we are again like elephant taking bath and pouring the dust on his head. So as soon as we take birth, it is also said in Bhagavatam, right? When we take birth, the child is crying, is praying, no, now this is, I will not do the mistake again. But as soon as he is out, everything he forgets and he again starts enjoying the materialistic lifestyle. So, because of our past understandings or consciousness which is carrying forward, like subtle body continues, right? When we change this material body, subtle body continues. So there is something stored in there, and plus whatever the society is giving us is getting added to it. So they teach us 1 minus 1 is 0. So we start understanding like that. They teach us everything which is totally against the Shastra. So to understand this simplest thing becomes very, very difficult for us now. It is not difficult. We are all understanding that Prabhupada books are the Shastra for us. Whatever Prabhupada is writing is final words for us. But still we can't understand this. Even if we hear this, it is difficult to follow. So we should practice this forgetfulness now. Whatever we have learned, we should undo that. So that will come by associating with devotees, chanting, reading the Shastras again and again. So we should, now our input should be more of spiritual subject matter. Till the time we joined Krishna consciousness, only input was materialistic lifestyle, materialistic idea, materialistic principles. So now Krishna wants forgetfulness. Because if we remember, then how will we become devotees? So we have to practice that now. Forcefully we should practice. Whatever we have learned, just undo that and start practicing what we are learning now from Srila Prabhupada books. That will make us more peaceful. That will make our life without anxiety. Otherwise the struggle will go on. Karshati, prakrutistani karshati, the struggle will continue. Because if you have the same ideas you will continue practicing, which has taken you on a wrong direction, and now just by small changes you cannot change the direction. You have to make that big change, that whatever you have learned, cut, finish. Like when Srila Prabhupada went to America, whoever joined his movement were all beef eaters, meat eaters, they were all drunkards, but they did a disconnect as soon as Prabhupada said. So that big disconnect has to come in our mindset. So we, being fortunate taking birth here, we were not into that situation, but still our mindset, our consciousness is still that on the degraded level. Because many anarthas, what we have gained from this society are still there in our heart. So that disconnect has to be invited now. And then these principles we should start practicing. Even though we will be fearing initially to practice these principles, but once we start practicing, we will understand the benefit of it. So it is very, very important to do this. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clearly instructed that Anyabhilashita Sunyam, this shloka is very popular from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So again, Anyabhilashita Sunyam, kitni baar sun liya? It's very difficult to practice. So it's not that we don't want to practice. It's not that none of us here want to practice this. Okay, I want more Abhilasha. Nobody wants this. But it is difficult because of our remembrance of our past. So we have to practice forgetfulness of the past, because that past is not that good. We have not practiced good things to remember it. So we have to practice forgetfulness. That will make our life more sublime and easy. And we just remember our current thing. Like if I have a bad experience with Dharmatma Prabhu, I will remember it for 50 years. Krishna will not be happy with that. Because he is also son of Krishna, I am also son of Krishna, we all are son of Krishna. And if we have internal grudges, then how will Krishna be pleased? This is just a small example to understand. What is the damage we are doing by remembering the past? Does it make sense? So it is important to forget our old perceptions, our past understanding which have been acquired, which were not connected to Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, this is always full, already full. How will we put in more things in here? So those old things has to go out. Now they have an easy technology, control, alter, delete in computer. It may be something that can be practiced, Just imagine today, control, alter, delete, everything gone. Starting a new thing now, new relationship. Every devotee is a new, I'm just meeting him today, Hare Krishna, our love will be different for that person. But more we understand a person, more the differences comes in. So the whole purpose should be to remember Krishna. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Whenever we meet, we discuss Krishna, not people. Even if we discuss people, we glorify them, we appreciate them. That practice has to start. Otherwise, karshati will go on, the struggle will go on. And then we will not relish these mantras we are chanting. We will not relish association of devotees. We will not relish eating Krishna Prasad. These are the strongest weapons we have. And now it has become, today I met he was a very humbling devotee. He said, previously I was staying out, but after I came to Vrindavan, the raw and reverence which I had for Vrindavan is no more now. So we have to be careful to that, that we are privileged to be living in Vrindavan. Every single day we should remember that it is special mercy of Radharani. But after a time it becomes like, oh, theek hai. We also take it all routine. Then we are new bhaktas. Dham aparadh ho jayega. It will be the offense to the holy dham. But after a time, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, we think that it is just a normal place. This is Chintamani Dham actually, as described in the Shastra. But because of our remembrance of the past, the way we lived in the city or any other place we were in, the same way we started living here. So, this is the point I want to make, that we have to bring that disconnect now. The disconnect is what Krishna has given. Forgetfulness is given by Krishna. That means it is important. But our current paradigm is that नहीं कुछ भूलना नहीं चाहिए. पिटाई कर करके याद करवाते हैं उसको. बोलो 5 बार लिखो, 10 बार लिखो, write 10 times, 20 times, 50 times. भूलना नहीं है. But here it is said भूल जाओ. Just remember Krishna. So we are totally in the opposite direction. Everything is just in the opposite direction. So वो ऊर्ध्वा मूलम है ना, पूरा उल्टा. Pratibimb of the spiritual world. Everything is ulta here. So we have to rectify it at the earliest, because time is running out. We want the love of God. So, yeah. I think we can end here. Manushyanam sahastreshu kaschit yadati siddha yadram abhisiddhanam kaschit veti mam tattvataha. To understand Krishna is as he is very difficult. But if you take to the process of devotional service, it is very easy. So this is the principle. Nobody can change this. So if you are practicing the principles of devotional service, you will understand Krishna. There is no doubt in that. But if we feel that we are nowhere nearing that means we are not practicing the devotional service. We are doing something else. It can't be that you are practicing and you are not understanding. Then the Shastra is wrong, it means that. So because of this old consciousness continuing still, it's a bold step to give those things up, we have to give it up. Like we gave up tea, coffee, we gave up onion, garlic. These are big things we have done. It's not that we have done nothing. So don't get that discouraged. But there is more to it now. Now we have to go on the consciousness level, on the mind. मन के स्तर पे जाना है, बुद्धि के स्तर पे सोचना है, वो सब. Even intelligence also an obstruction in devotional service. Too much intelligence is, because then we are too analytical, too judgmental. That is also not allowed. We have to become simple like gopis. No? So some time back we heard in the class, somebody said, oh, why we need to get so many big qualifications, why we have to become expert in management, why we have to take so many skills of management skills, is that, why can't we be like simple? But being simple is not that easy. That is why even Chaitanya, my guru said, be a fool. How many of us are ready to be a fool? Every moment we think that we are the best. So these principles are there, but it is difficult to practice. That is the point. So this forgetfulness principle is important in that aspect. So that if we can forget our past things which are nothing to do with Krishna consciousness, it will certainly help us in advancing in our Krishna consciousness life. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So we have 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So some comment. Anybody wants to make some comment? Then we can take questions. ठीक है. Hare Krishna.